Hi guys, my name is Robin and today I am doing the end of the year book tag. So we are getting very close to the end of the year. So it's currently beginning of November, so we've only got 7 weeks till the end of the year, which is kind of crazy. This year has gone past very quickly. Considering COVID and everything else kind of making us feel like we've done nothing all year. But I am very excited for the end of the year. I love Christmas time. December is probably one of my favorite times of the year. Just because it makes you feel good. You have Christmas music, you have decorations, you know, having Christmas dinner and presents and, you know, everyone getting together to just spend the holidays with people you like. So I'm excited for December. But for my reading for the rest of the year, there are a ton of books that I want to get to, but that I probably won't because there's not enough time in the day to read all of these books. So I thought I would do this tag, maybe give myself some answers to what I want to read for the rest of the year, and just see how it goes. So let's get into the questions. So the first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? And the only book that I really have to answer this one is The Toll by Neil Shusterman, which I'm this far into. And I probably won't finish it before the end of the year, let's just be honest. I would love to finish this book, but I'm really just not in the mood for it. It was really slow going. It's a long book as it is. I was enjoying it because I really do like this series, but it was just taking a really long time, kind of drags on. It's quite character driven in this last book, and we're kind of just getting a lot of exposition for where the story is going. So probably not going to finish it by the end of the year, but this is the only one I think that I've started this year that I haven't finished yet. So unfortunately, it probably won't get done. Next year it will be. I need to finish this book just to see how it all concludes. So at some point I will finish this. So the next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And so you can always tell with these tags, they are written by Americans or Canadians or someone in the other hemisphere than what I'm in, because I'm going into spring. But either way, I don't really have books that I pick depending on the season. I sometimes do. It usually is like the colder months like autumn and winter. I'll have more of a want to read like high fantasy or thrillers, stuff like that. But for spring and summer, I don't really have a preference. I'll read really anything. I used to say contemporaries for spring and summer, but I haven't read much contemporary in the last couple of years, so I usually don't. It'll be just anything. I don't think there is anything that I can think of that's more of a spring read fantasy-wise. So I don't think I have an answer for this question, unfortunately. So the next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? And for this question, I just did actually my anticipated releases video. So those are some of the books that I'm eagerly anticipating. But the one that I'm most excited for technically has already come out a couple days ago, but I'm counting it because I'm really excited for it. And that one is A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. And this book sounds awesome. It's a fantasy standalone. It has fae, it has crazy like kidnapped wives, and some, I think it's like the elf kingdom is dying and our main character has to help heal the kingdom kind of thing. I'm excited for it. It sounds great. I would love to read it before the end of the year if I can get a copy. Okay, so the next question is, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? And if I had to choose 3 that I really want to get to, the first would be Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is the 2nd book in the Villain series. Since I read Vicious this month, I just finished it at the beginning of the month, and it was really good. And while I was reading it, I was wondering what the 2nd book would be about, since it was published so long after the first. I do have the ebook copy on Script, so I think next month I'll probably read it, and then I'll get to it before the end of the year. But I'm really looking forward to it. I just want to see what happens next with our characters, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to read that one. The 2nd book that I want to read before the end of the year is Wicked Fox by Cat Cho, which is on my TBR for this month, so I should read it this month anyway, so before the end of the year. But I have been meaning to read this book for a very long time. As I said before, I started the audiobook previously and it skipped chapters for some reason, so I could never fully finish it. So I picked up the physical copy to read it and then never did. So I really want to get to it before the end of the year, and then I want to read, I think it's called Vicious Spirits, is the companion novel or 2nd book in this series. So if I finish this one, maybe I'll start that one as well. But this is my main goal for the year. And the 3rd book that I want to read before the end of the year is Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. And this is the 2nd book in the Daughter of the Pirate King series. And I am currently still reading that book. I haven't finished it just yet. I plan on hopefully finishing it either today or tomorrow. And then I want to read this book before the end of the year, because it's a duology and I could finish it off really quickly, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping that this will be able to be put on my TBR for next month. We'll have to see because we're still a bit far away, but this is one that I would really like to finish this year. So the next question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? And so far this year I haven't really looked back and found what my current favourite is. So I'm sure that I could read one and it could become my favourite. There are some books that I really want to read but I'm not going to be able to. And those are because I have bought them for myself for Christmas from other people, because I have grandparents who live in England. They just send over some money for Christmas early as well. So I've bought books for myself, but I can't read them until after Christmas when I open them officially. So I have like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm pretty sure that would be a 5 stars if I read it. But Deadly Education by Naomi Novak, but I'm gonna have to wait, so those will be next year most likely, so I can't. But the book that I do have that I think could be 5 stars is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I've been meaning to read this book for a very long time, and I did read Enchantment of Ravens a couple of years ago, gave that 5 stars, and that was my favourite book of I think 2017 or 2018. So I really think this could be a favourite book of the year if I get to it. I have been trying to get to this book all year, so if I can fit it onto next month's TBR, I definitely will, because I really do want to get to it. And I do think it's going to be a 5-star read for me, and probably one of my favourite books ever. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? And I haven't really. My only thing that I've kind of planned for 2021 is my reread of the Throne of Glass series. So as I said before, I tried to read Tower of Dawn last month and realised that it had been so long since I read the books that I really needed to do a reread before finishing off the series. Otherwise I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I actually would have if I'd read them all together. So I'm going to do a reread, which is going to take me a while, so I've pushed it to next year, not for this year. But that is probably my main goal for next year. Other than that, there aren't too many books that I've kind of set aside as needing to read in 2021. So I think that's my only goal so far. I usually set a Goodreads goal, like a number of books to read. I'll probably set that about 50. That's usually my basic, because I have university again next year, same as this year, but hopefully it'll be in person and not online like it has been this year because of COVID. So I'll have a lot more travel time, which I actually love travel time. Travel time gives me a couple of hours where all I'm doing is sitting on a train or on a bus and I can just read my books. Which, like, usually people hate travel time, like they hated commuting. I enjoy it because I get this like peaceful, nice, quiet time to just read my book. So hopefully I'll get more reading done because I'll dedicate that time when I couldn't really be doing anything else. Whereas at home, having no travel time with it being online, I just sit and do other things instead of reading books. So goal 50, I think is achievable. I think this year I've done just over 50 so far, but I've also been terrible with getting myself to read. So I'm hoping to maybe up it towards the end of the year, get some more books read, and get a higher amount of books read for this year. But we'll see how that goes. So that was the end of year book tag. So we've kind of gone through some of the books that I want to read towards the end of the year. It's kind of solidified my TBR in a way. I do have a lot of books on this month's TBR as well that I need to get to. And then it always just depends on my TBR game, what I can read next month. So hopefully, you know, the prompts fall in my favor and I'm able to pick the books that I really want to get to. Otherwise, I just have to try and read everything as quickly as possible so I can get to the other books that I want to read. But that's all up in the air until the end of this month when I make my TBR. But yeah, that's really it. So thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time.